The river, as I'm reminded of those Heraclitus words that, the river, you can never be in the same river twice because the river always changes. And of course, we change ourselves. Eugene Auger, one of the great photographers that I've followed, essentially says the same, that nothing is ever the same. And I love to return to places over and over again to see the differences, to see what is happening, to see how I've changed, to see the conditions. This is a long exposure. As you can see, there's a certain dynamic in the clouds, in the water. Again, sometimes I just place the camera and I leave it for half an hour and go wandering off to find another location. Trees move, the water moves, very little is left behind. I found little nooks, crannies, places that have been lived in for so long. Much of my work, as I've said many times, is about the juxtaposition, the confrontation, just between nature and what we place on it and how we live, that kind of patina, the memories, the traces, what is left behind, I find very, very fascinating in the world. And I try to photograph that. Sometimes I'm attracted to the geometry of a place. This little docking place, long exposure, very, very beautiful. It becomes quite geometric, the shapes left behind. The trees, I'm reminded as I go along that most of my early career, I was very strongly influenced by the masters of photography, Stieglitz, Adams, Weston, Sudeck, Auger, Giacomelli, Bill Brandt. I find that, the longer I go along, and I don't know if I'm speaking for everybody or generally, but I find that I begin to be influenced by myself. I kind of keep looking for echoes of what I've been photographed before. So this very recent photograph. For me, it harkens back to one of my very earliest photographs in England, Trees Richmond. Just very, very simple trees along the horizon. As you may or may not know, I started going to Asia in the mid-'80s, and my time in Japan very, very strongly influenced the way that I see things, particularly what George was saying about the simplicity, the power of suggestion, just the haiku elements, just the essential ingredients. And I suspect somehow it was in there in my bones somehow, way from the beginning, because the photographs that I still gravitate to, my earliest photographs, are the kind of the most simple, most pure almost.